Now, I know you heard about a lot of reports this, not I can't say off season, but upcoming off season that about Damian Lillard and a few other players out there in regards to free agency, things like that. But Damian Lillard somehow is always going to be connected to LA just because he is from California out here, definitely in the Bay Area. But either way, there's a possibility either LA team can acquire, Damian Lillard. But, I might be going out on a limb by saying this, but, certain things that were said by Damian Lillard here lately when you read Sports Illustrated, the article on Sports Illustrated about how he felt that the Lakers disrespected, Russell Westbrook by having him come off the bench. That could be a sign possibly that, Damian Lillard, the situation with Damian Lillard, he might actually rather want to sign with the Clippers rather than the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? That can be a huge, thing in the whole situation because, with him wanting to, possibly step away from Portland and the two major teams that was really, predicated for him to go to was either the Lakers or the Clippers. Well, the Clippers' chances might have increased basically based upon what Damian Lillard said when he was speaking on Sports Illustrated, where he said that, Russell Westbrook is a Hall of Famer. He is a top, he's still a good point guard. And they had the Lakers had him coming off the bench and backing up somebody like Patrick Beverly. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have somebody like Russell Westbrook coming off the bench, I don't think he should come off the bench and back up somebody like Patrick Beverly. I mean, bare minimum, I'd rather him back up somebody like Terrence Mann, honestly, because Terrence Mann, he's not a better player than Russell Westbrook. But at the same time, he's more of a player, of a future star player that looks like he can become somebody or, with a name in the NBA, possibly the way he plays, his energy, his effect on the floor. He's a two-way player himself, a young two-way player, very prominent, high motor type guy, high IQ to be a young player that he is. And he's fearless. You see what I'm saying? So with that mentality, I can see the Clippers, digressing by saying, hey, Russ, you come off the bench behind this young stud because we're trying to, build him up because he's the future of our team, not him come behind a Patrick Beverly who a lot of people believe shouldn't even be in the NBA, and a lot of people don't even know what Patrick Beverly's role is because he can't really play point guard. He could play defense a little bit. And that's why he's one of those players that's kind of like up and down and never really had a true significant role except with the Clippers. And every other team, he just looks out of place because he doesn't really have a specialty or a go-to move or anything like that. So I'm with Damian Lillard. You can't put somebody like, Russell Westbrook and have him come off the bench behind somebody like Patrick Beverly, who's not even a real point guard, or we don't even know what his specialty is. We don't even know what his talent really is, except talking, jawing, and doing antics and doing cheap shots on people and somewhat playing defense, back in the day of several years ago when he was a little bit better at it. But, I mean, at the same time, that's not good enough. That's not a good enough reason to bench Russell Westbrook, who is a way better player, a Hall of Fame player, and milestone better, light years ahead of somebody like, a Patrick Beverly or somebody like that. I mean, it just really, it didn't look good to me as well. I mean, the Lakers just really, muffed on that one to me. I know they did whatever they thought was best, but to me, that wasn't best. Patrick Beverly is not somebody you should ever start over any other point guard in the league. I don't really care who it is because Patrick Beverly, to me, really doesn't have a specialty. He's really not good at anything. And now in his career, he's more of a talker than he actually plays. Like I said, at one point when he was on the Houston Rockets way back in the day, I think, he played a little bit of defense then. He was a little bit more defensively inclined then. He was more hungrier then, apparently, too, because he had already been overseas, G League, everywhere you could think of. So I can definitely respect what Damian Lillard said, and I definitely hope Damian Lillard takes that in consideration, when he makes his decision on where he wants to go or where they might actually end up, where he might end up position-wise. Because, I mean, if he lands on the Clippers, I don't know, specifically who the Clippers would, let go for somebody like him. But either way, if he does land on the Clippers, I mean, that would be huge for them. It really would, It would be just really big for them because they would have a player that they can, that's a dynamic, caliber star player. And hypothetically, if he teamed up with Kawhi and PG, that would just, if they can stay healthy, I mean, of course, that's a big if, but that would just be championship to me, because I don't really think nobody else would really be able to deal with that. I mean, the Claw, PG, and Dame, like, I just don't think, I mean, it would just be tough to beat them, honestly. But regardless of that, this might be a good sign for Clippers Nation to, possibly be able to get Damian Lillard based upon the disrespect he felt towards one of his guys, which is Russell Westbrook, one of the point guards that he kind of, look at and maybe look up to a little bit and idolize his game a little bit after, but either way, it's one of those situations where as a Clippers fan, if Damian Lillard definitely comes to, the Clippers, I mean, it's definitely a big plus for the organization and everything. I don't know whether it be Kawhi or PG they might give up for him, or maybe they'll keep them and maybe Dame will just find a way there to the Clippers. Who knows? But either way, it would be, an epic situation to see him on a different team other than Portland, and a team that possibly has a chance to win a championship, because Portland really doesn't. I mean, they got some good young pieces, and, Chauncey Billups is a good coach, but he's a very young coach in his career in regards to coaching, being a head coach of a team. And you just don't know how that situation is going to pan out. Right now, they look like they're in a rebuilding stage, and Damian Lillard's getting older, so he definitely needs at least an opportunity to win a championship. So, I mean, why not the Clippers, a team like that? Because they're basically, if you take the injuries away, they would have been to a finals by now. I mean, if they wouldn't have won a finals by now, they would at least have been to one, bare minimum, because we all remember that year against the Phoenix Suns where, the Clippers played the Suns and it was just Paul George without Kawhi, and, they got to the conference finals for the first time, and Paul George, he couldn't really, put the team over the hump. He missed those 2 crucial free throws at the end, which could have extended the series, which could have made a world of difference in that series. But neither here nor there. It's over and done with, nothing we could do about it. But, Kawhi wasn't there to help. If Kawhi was there, it's definitely a W. I mean, hell, I think Kawhi and the Clippers would have beat them this time without Paul George. If they took game 1, they looked strong. Kawhi looked good. And going against them, that big mini big three that the Phoenix Suns had, Kawhi wasn't worried. He wasn't scared. And he was fearless, as he always is. And I felt like the rest of the team was following behind their leader until their leader went down. But either way, it's just one of those situations and you just can't help injuries. But it's good to hear Damian Lillard, as a Clippers fan, it's good to hear Damian Lillard speak out against the Lakers and the organization, how they, how their approach is and what they're doing and things like that. Because, like I said, that betters the Clippers' chances of being able to pull them, get them in there, because maybe Damian Lillard really is not in line with the coaching, obviously, because it was Darvin Ham's decision to sit Russell Westbrook on the bench. And, Damian Lillard says he speaks about his displeasure against that. So he probably doesn't like the coaching ideas or the way the coaching is being ran by, Darvin Ham and stuff like that. So, and then on top of that, the Clippers still have, Russell Westbrook. So, I mean, if they somehow kept him or something like that, of course, Damian Lillard wouldn't mind playing with Russ because he actually likes Russ. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of things the stars are aligning possibly for the Clippers to get Damian Lillard. I mean, it's not a small chance. It's about a 50-50 chance. The Clippers have an opportunity to get Damian Lillard. So it's a little bit better than what people think, but it's not as great as people would hope, in regards to, possibly acquiring a player like him. But just hearing that definitely gives, good signs. If I had the Clippers, I definitely would find a way to get Damian Lillard if he wanted to come, because he's just one of those type players to me. But I personally, if they found a way to get Damian Lillard, I personally would let Paul George go and get Damian Lillard, me personally. Now, I'm pretty sure some of you might say Kawhi Leonard instead of Paul George and maybe one other player in a pick or something like that. But either way, like I said, it's good for the Clippers because they will have a new face in town and somebody who's ready to win a championship, who's long overdue of at least making it to a finals to win a championship. So either way, I can't wait to see what happens and how it all unfolds. But leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk about it.